Hey, welcome back to another episode of Flavor and Fiction, the segment where I read a book from my 2025 reading challenge. I give you a short, spoiler free review, and then I make a recipe related to the book, so you get your flavor and your fiction. Well, this time I went off script a little bit because the book was not from my reading challenge, it was an office book club pick. So I'm reporting to you live from the office. The book that we chose was The Women by Kristin. And the food mentioned in the book was Coca-Cola. So I decided to make Coca-Cola meatballs. And I brought them into the office. And at the end of this video, you'll get to see how I made them. And yes, of course, you'll get to see my coworker, Kevin, give you a honest review. Just know that he doesn't like meatballs at all. So this was a little tough for him. But first, let's get into this book. So this story follows Frankie, who is a young woman who is a nurse and has decided to enlist in Vietnam. She did it because her brother enlisted to fight in the war, and their parents were so proud of him. They sent him a big send-off party and put up his picture on the wall of heroes in their family home. And she thought, wow, I want to be of service too, and I want to make my parents proud too. So she enlisted, and they were none too pleased. They wanted her to focus on getting married. And it didn't make matters any better when her brother was killed in action before she even left. So she's starting her journey in Vietnam already with this weighing over her head. So when she finally makes it to Vietnam, she is in the shock of her life. You know, she wasn't really prepared for war. She kind of pictured herself, bedside, I don't know, putting a bandage on a soldier and because all she had done so far for the war effort was to help roll bandages. And that was her view of the war. So getting there and seeing the destruction and seeing, the injured up close, it really threw her for a loop. She didn't think she could make it, but she ended up being one of the best OR nurses that the unit had ever seen. And, but while she was there, she kept seeing in the newspapers all these lies about the war, and trying to make it look not as serious, or, just putting lies about things that the U.S. was doing at that time. And she was so confused about what was going on. So while she was there, she ended up making very close friends with some of the other nurses and a couple of other people, maybe a little love interest, won't go there. And she ended up surviving. And when she got home, she was expecting this big reception. She went home a day earlier than her parents were expecting her. And actually, when she got to the airport, so she got spit on at the airport because there were people there protesting the war. It was not a hero's welcome at all, like the past wars. So her parents are startled to see her. It turns out they didn't tell people that she had gone to Vietnam. They had made up a lie because I don't know if they were embarrassed once the war had become so controversial, or just because she was a woman and, people weren't believing her when she said she was in Vietnam. They were like, you're a woman. There are no women in Vietnam. They kept downplaying her experience there. Even when she tried to get a job as a nurse back home, they kind of stuck her, I don't know, handing out bedpans. And it was a real struggle because even when she went to the VA for assistance, they looked at her like she was crazy because you're a woman. You weren't in Vietnam. They just didn't believe her. They kept denying her entire existence there. So the book really gives insight into the forgotten people of the war. And a lot of those forgotten people were the women who were denied their own experience and ignored and belittled once they got back, and just trying to figure out what her purpose is now, because her purpose was very clear in Vietnam and not so much now. And the struggles that she has with herself and her family and the world once she gets back. So this book was an emotional ride. There are twists and turns all the way up to the end, but of course I won't go there and spoil it. And this was my first Kristin book, and it won't be my last. And as a matter of fact, some people in the book club immediately went out and bought her other books. It's historical fiction, and she seems to really have a knack for it. I mean, this was, like I said, it's an emotional ride, but it's a very good book. And I assume it's going to be a movie because it's just of how popular it's becoming. So go out and read the book now before you can watch it. Okay. Now that we've talked about the book, let me show you how I made these meatballs. And the next voice you hear will be from Kevin. To your ground beef, you want to add in your breadcrumbs, your egg, some onion powder, some sea salt or regular salt, pepper, parsley, and you're going to mix all this together with your hands to make your meatballs. And then on a parchment lined baking sheet, you want to line up your meatballs. And while these are in the oven, you want to start with your sauce. So you're going to add some Coca-Cola, your secret ingredient, and your ketchup, and your Worcestershire sauce, your brown sugar, onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and the secret ingredient, cranberry sauce. And break that on down and take out your meatballs. Hopefully don't overcook them like I did. Put them in a dish. And when your sauce is all cooked down and mixed together, you're going to pour them over your meatballs. And voila, you have Coca-Cola meatballs ready to go.
I love Coca-Cola. Take this little piece here. What kind of sauce is this?
Coca-Cola barbecue.
Oh, wow. All right, here goes nothing.
What? You can be honest.
It's a meatball. Not bad. I like the sauce. Sauce delicious.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this a 7.9.
That's not bad for something.
Right. Yeah, it's good. You're gonna love it. You guys are gonna love it.
What?
No, but I think it's good. It's just, I mean, I like the sauce. The sauce is delicious. The sauce is 7.9 for the sauce.
So there you have it. Kevin's biased opinions about these meatballs. Again, he's not a meatball lover, but I thank him for trying. And if you want the recipe to try yourself, or if you're looking for the book, I will have a link for both in the description box below. Be sure to subscribe, and thank you for joining me. Until next time, happy reading and happy eating.